Hello there, and welcome to Corey Loses, where today we're going to be starting a new preview series in Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War 2.3. So this is the fourth and probably final preview Let's Play before we start the beta, at least, unless this goes really fast, which it shouldn't. But in this preview, we've already done the CSA, which is the new faction for 2.3. We've done Greater Maljude and Arido Authority. So this time we're going to be doing the Empire. We're going to be playing in Art of War, as was determined in the poll. And in the other poll, you guys voted on starting in the Thrawn era, which is Era 2. So that's one of the first, I guess, new features we're looking at for 2.3. We used it in the Greater Maljude Let's Play, but you are now able to choose your starting era, and that can significantly change the state of the map. We're going to play on Admiral. So there will actually be two versions of each of the maps. I don't know if that'll be in 2.3 or not, but the first version is your standard Art of War, Empire's End, and Essence of War, where you just pick the era and the starting positions all change based on what was canon at that point. But we're also going to have a second version where the starting positions remain what they were at Era 1, which is basically the most spread out and balanced. It has all the factions, so we'd have a version with that where you can start in Era 5, but you don't start with the New Republic taking over the entire galaxy, basically. Instead, every faction is going to be in their original little fraction of it. But we are going to get into it. There's a lot to look at, but one last thing before we do. If you haven't seen any of the preview playthroughs on this channel before, something I do for the patrons of Corey Loses is they're able to pick and name a ship for the playthrough, depending on their tier level on Patreon, or also if they are Twitch subscribers or the channel members, which is YouTube's version of Twitch's subscription model. So if you're interested in doing that, you can check the link in the description. That is just for the playthroughs, though. It is not part of the actual mod. So all the ship names are just going to be in the preview playthrough, and that's basically that. But let's get started here. Alright, so the first thing you'll notice is the updated Galactic map art. The planet textures are going to be updated so they look a little bit more holographic, but they still tell you what the planet is. So the basic model for this and the shader setup was done by Lord and Primi in the Vong Invaders mod, and then we've significantly edited it since then. So thanks to him for free releasing that. I know there are a few mods that are taking advantage of that, and some are editing it. We went a slightly different direction than most others seem to be, it looks like. But the first thing is that I changed the background from squares to hexagons. We're also updating some of the UI art to go with that. But the idea is that we're going to have instead of just the lines, we're going to have in Aurebesh the name of whatever the region is that's being demarcated, as well as a different color for each one. You can see the text is kind of stretched right now. We're going to be redoing the actual mesh for this so that the UV scrolls a little better, which is a bunch of words for saying right now it's stretchy. But we will get started here. So we have the Empire of the Hand over in this corner. I'm just going to move this, sorry. There we go. So we have the Empire of the Hand over in the unknown regions. We have our forces mostly up in the north. So when Thrawn came back, he actually united a bunch of the Warlord factions temporarily, which is why we have like what you'd expect to be PA territory. Zinj is already down by then, and some of the territory in the east. The Greater Maljude had already been driven out of the Mid-Rim into the core, so they only have Hakasi right now, as well as Rivester, because they did still have some territory in the Mid-Rim. We also have the CSA up here, who we are not playing as this time. New Republic controls most of the galaxy, but the core is a bit of a mess. And the Avitha are here and locked until the last era. So alright, so it's just working through the heroes to get to the proper Era 2 setup. I probably should have let that happen before pausing, but anyways, we have our capital ship, or our level 4 shipyard that we're building at Vilbringi here. Let's also queue up Our first patron unit is this Detector, which I think it's supposed to be a reference to that meme, like the guy. Is this a Tector?
Unit in production.
No, it's not. Then we'll get Fighter Popper as well. But let's where's Thrawn? He's at Bilbringi. What does he have with his fleet here? That's a good amount. Let's send them over to Yinkor. Because that's only a level 1 space, level 2 ground. It's not going to be difficult to take. But you can kind of see the pulsating and undulating in the background there. We're pretty happy with the direction the Galactic map is going, and again, there's going to be a bunch of UI updates to go with that. Some of those will probably stretch into 2.3, or 2.4 rather, because 2.3, like I alluded to at the start, is kind of, we're very close to beta. That should be starting during this playthrough. We're also going to be starting some Fall of the Republic playthroughs on the channel, so if you want to see that, that's our Clone Wars mod. You can subscribe and it'll be fun. But yeah, so the way the beta will work will be the same way that we did the 2.2 beta, where it'll be run off of GitHub. The primary way we'll be tracking it will be either through our forums or through our Discord. If you look in the description, there will be links to both of those as well. But we'll still be posting the announcements on this YouTube channel, on the Steam Workshop, on Mod Database. It's just, we need a centralized area where we can get the bug reports, is the main thing. But it'll be open to everyone once it starts. And I'll kind of talk about some of the changes that have happened since the start of the CSA playthrough, because that would be the last time that you guys would have seen any major changes out of the mod. There's been a fair bit of balance changing. I'm mostly working on still some of the ground stuff, but also I've been doing some changes to ship movement, working out speeds and turn rates and stuff, as well as accuracy is going to change for some stuff. Just things to help differentiate ships a little bit more, because right now they tend to be differentiated mostly on their blocks of weapon stats and defensive stats, as opposed to maneuverability or accuracy factoring into much. Range has already been changed for most things. After the fighter fests that have been happening, the number of fighters that you're going to be using at once with every faction has changed, been reduced. The New Republic tended to not have as many out at the same time unless an Empress was involved, which is their defensive space station. So they are mostly the same. It's other factions that have been reduced a bit, for the most part. Like, it used, for a lot of stuff, if they'd have like 2 fighters out at once and none in reserve, that's generally been changed to having 1 fighter squadron come out and then the next one come out when it's been destroyed, which should also encourage people to keep their carriers alive a little bit longer in battles. Keep it protected. And to go with that, there has been also some AI behavior changes, where frigate carriers especially, they're going to try to keep back, or they should be trying to keep back. We haven't been able to fully test that yet, but it should theoretically be working, so we'll see with this at least.
Roger that. AT-AT ready. Form up.
Construction complete.
Scouting area.
Let's get them up here. This is one of the bigger maps. I talked about it in the last playthrough we did, because it showed up a few times, where I feel like we'd be best off cutting it in half, either like here or here, because you could still get good landing areas and bases out of both of these maps. Probably like landing area here, base up here, if you did it that way.
Awaiting orders.
We have our bombing run.
Reporting in. Walker moving out. Copy. Right away. Moving out. I
Okay.
copy. Reporting.
Nice boring ground battle to start off the game. That's always fun.
Yes, sir. Yes, Commander. Heading out. Fall out. Let's move out.
Yeah, let's grab another sensor array here, just so we can
Sensor node.
see where stuff is.
We've located the enemy.
There we go. We have located the enemy.
Bombardment incoming.
We're standing by. Ready. Keep going.
Providing
Engaging
backup.
enemy.
Moving to secondary position.
A bunch of stormtroopers are gonna die for this.
Over there.
There you go. First planet. We win. But yeah, so the way we usually do it is we'll announce the beta beforehand. The beta will start, and then we'll end up... I think this is unclaimed in Era 2. But we'll start testing. Usually we aim to go for about...
Beginning construction.
Oh, Palpatine. Where the fools believe they have me beaten, but the Empire's victory is at hand. It's time we prepare for our ultimate victory over the rebellion. But yeah, so the beta we usually aim to go for about a month. If nothing major comes up, then that'll be it. If there's still some fixes to be made, then we'd go ahead with those. But do we want to sell? Yeah, let's sell them off Palace there. We'll get that HV gun, and we're gonna build our capital at Bastion. We don't have one right now, and that's a good portion of our income as well as PopCap, but obviously PopCap isn't going to be a huge issue right now. There's been some changes to how the mining facilities work as well. So it used to be that you'd build 3, and that would be the limit per planet. We've reduced that to 2, but we've also made it so the trade yards here are a lot more useful.
Beginning construction.
Need to make this lock properly still. But yeah, so these provide the same as a mining facility would on the ground right now. They're also being changed. This is more of a long-term change to make it so that if you have like a trade facility here, trade port here, trade port here, trade port here, trade port here, all of them as adjacent planets would get a bonus. It takes some scripting to unlock a planet ability for that, which is why it is more difficult than it sounds to actually put that in. But it should help with adding more options for economic growth, and there's going to be other changes related to that as well. But, so that's basically where we're going with those. And so ultimately you should be able to end up with similar amounts of money. But it's, we got our allegiance there, so let's leave that with Thrawn's group. Fleet, I think people call those. But yeah, so you should end up with a similar amount of money. It just helps, especially with the AI, where if they have smaller planets, they're able to still get the same amount of money without filling up as many ground slots, especially. Because if you watch the Community Challenge, the New Republic was able to take over a lot of territory, but a lot of their planets ended up just having to be ground infrastructure slots. And we'd rather work out stuff that allows the economic structures to be built more tall rather than wide. So you should be able to upgrade a few slots a little bit more rather than having to spend so much of your potential infrastructure on those economic buildings, because you don't really benefit tactically from having them all be separate buildings. And galactically, if you build 2 there, you're going to build a 3rd. So realistically, if we can just balance 2 to be the same as 3 plus this orbital stuff, it should work out pretty well for them. But we've got our territory mostly secured. I think those were the only 2 planets that are in the middle of ours. There may be 1 or 2 others. Obviously, we have to do something about Honegger and Kessel over here. We do have a good enough fleet with that. There's some independent Hutt planets, which is a good buffer zone for us. We could try to build that up, because right now the Hutts aren't really set up as an actual faction, which they will be, but
Building started.
we can take advantage of that for this LP. I don't know that they'll be set up in 2.3. It's mostly getting it ready for future releases, maybe 2.4, maybe later. Generally, when I've been testing the Era 2 starts, it's the CSA that I've had the most trouble with at the start. We'll kind of leave them alone for now. I wouldn't be opposed to them becoming a bit more of a power early on. That could be fine. But
Yes, Commander. Awaiting.
you guys are going to focus on that one together. Obviously, the Dreadnought model has been updated for 2.3. It was a model done by Maxlove, who is the lead developer of STA3. He's also done work on Fall of the Republic, and some of that is transferred over to ICW. He does models for a bunch of Star Wars mods.
Our target priority is the laser cannons. The lasers are our target.
I'm going to be putting a picture of the updated Galactic map onto Mod Database soon. So this is going up today, next episode will be going up tomorrow, and so that picture will probably go up on Sunday as well. There's a bunch of other stuff that is about ready to be shown off. Connor JB, another STA3 member who's also joined up with TR to do some work. He did a new Praetor 1 model for us, and also a Praetor 2. So hopefully the Praetor 2 model update will be showing up in this playthrough when we get to Era 4, because the Patron Emperors were able to pick Praetors, and that's also when they become available to us normally. So we'll be able to see that update. It was getting to be quite an old model, our original one, so it was in need of an update. We actually did the model before all the reference pictures were out, so there were some details that you couldn't really see in Essential Guide to Warfare that we had to figure out for ourselves. And then when Fractal Sponge put out his galleries of them, there were some significantly different details, especially on the bottom. Like the Praetor 2 doesn't have a ventral hanger; it has the nose is more of the hanger, and that wasn't reflected in ours. So now it is, and it's just generally a slightly higher poly, better model. So it just looks better. So the Praetor 1 is just causing some rig issues right now, so I've just got to fix those before we can show that off, but shouldn't be too long.
Construction complete.
Let's also get over here. Light factory. You know what? No, let's just make sure we get our
Invasion commencing. Beginning construction.
our Imperial capital. We did. Right. Why did I think I hadn't paid for it yet? Oh, wait, there's still Dathomir and Benjir.
Let's move out.
So,
Fleet approaching.
where are you coming? Il Shah? So I guess that's got to be... Yeah, that's got to be the CSA. Let's just see what they're attacking with. I'm okay with giving that planet up for now. We have these guys here. So let's put this fleet together for that purpose. And we're putting this fleet together to take on these rebels. What do they got? They've got Lugerhawk ISD. How do they have an ISD? Oh crap. Some of the patron units are affiliated with the CSA. I need to change that. So yeah, they shouldn't have that, but we can destroy the traitors. So yeah, CSA doesn't get ISDs. Oh, I sent that right before the ISD got there.
Battle imminent.
Oh well, we still got this. It'll be an opportunity to check out if the fighter change to the CSA stuff is... Oh, I changed the Fall of the Republic Clamor because it was double spawning. I don't know if I checked the ICW one. Yeah, okay, so that isn't correct.
Choose your reinforcements.
So the Lucrehawk, or the Acclimator is probably double spawning.
Heading to
You can see some of the fighters that weren't done before are further along. So Mankvim wasn't in during our
confirm.
CSA LP. It is now. The icons are all
Your command.
in progress.
Battery
We're really going to be lacking for fighters. I should...
Retreat in
Let's get out of here, and we'll come back with that ISD. But so yeah, the this playthrough is going to be posted every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday. That's the plan for that. And then Thursday nights, I'm also going to be streaming a Phoenix Rising playthrough. Because the CSA LP should be finished by Thursday. There's still 3 episodes left to go up. They're pretty long, but I figure most of the people who are watching the CSA at this point are the ones that are watching it anyway, so yeah, the night of the finale for the CSA LP, which will be Thursday, there's going to be a Phoenix Rising live stream, and then so this is all going to be pre-recorded, or like recorded like a normal series would, the IR one, and then the Phoenix Rising one, I'm going to stream the whole thing. I'm going to try to do it that way for most EAW LPs, where if I'm doing 2 at the same time, there'll be one streamed one and one recorded one, just so that we have some variety in that, because it does kind of set a different tone for the playthroughs when they are streamed versus recorded. Here, you can focus on that. You can finish that off. Then let's pull these guys around again. Yeah, so the idea with the fighter changes is to ideally make it so that we're not getting any performance issues from having too many fighters around, which was starting to happen a little bit. We should actually take out that IST first. I pull you away. You guys can still hit that. You can hit that. I got baited into attacking the tank. Like an idiot. Okay, that ISD is dead. Turn on your fire, or full firepower thing, powered weapons. Okay. Now they're all gonna die. I tend to start these playthroughs by asking you guys in the comments what you'd like me to attack. So if you guys want to leave in the comments your suggestions for which direction we should go, whether you want us to fight the Empire of the Hand, the New Republic, or the CSA first. Those are going to be our 3 major enemies for this playthrough. And we will follow the will of the people for this. There's also going to be a video going up today about Corey's datapad, so that is my lore channel, which is starting this week, starting today actually. First video is going up about the Hutts, so basically the Hutt Empire to the Hutt Khajiitic system, how they got there, and there's also going to be a video about Corellia later this week, basically going over how they approached some of the major wars in the galaxy. Then finally for the week, the idea is that there's going to be videos every Saturday and Wednesday. There's going to be a video about Garnbel Iblis, which actually does follow the Corellian theme a little bit there. So, a lot of Corellia this week. Here, this Lancer needs to get a little bit closer. Ended up sacrificing more than I really wanted to with that. That was my fault for not being careful. Got to clear out room for the Padron units now, so. They're retreating, but that has no engine, so it can't actually retreat.
My scopes are jammed.
That's not good. Okay, there's also Yavin. So, Yavin, Banamir. Ooh, we could get to Mandalore. I almost never get to fight against Mandalorians. So, we could try to do that. Let's, rather than going straight for Garros, or for Dathomir and Banamir, we're gonna go for Findar and then we'll send in the Garros forces and we'll go kill the Kadalbi. Or we could board the Kadalbi. Let's try to board the Kadalbi.
Moving out.
Tactical battle imminent.
Raid fleets have been turned back on, so there is a chance that we'll start coming across those as well.
Look, sir.
I don't think we've seen one since like early on in the Oridu playthrough. Just like 2 playthroughs ago. I don't think they were in the Maldrude one.
Reinforcements.
Heading out. Heading out.
They were definitely not in the CSA one.
Go. On our way. All ahead.
So let's see how we're doing. This is a bunch of carriers, so
Understood.
expect fighters in this situation. Let's also send our strike cruisers after the starbase.
Shield's almost gone.
I copy. Target ready for battle. Attack position. Reporting in. Fire for maximum
Orders,
effect.
sir.
You guys can still fight the fighters. You're not going to help against the station very much.
Enemy ships.
Fire. Copy that. Affirmative. Star Destroyer standing by. Captain here.
Target critical.
Locking on. Engines to full. Target at maximum firepower. Star Destroyer reporting in.
Ready for command, sir. Under control. Target locked.
Dreadnought cruiser ready. Ready for duty. Yes, Commander.
We are victorious.
Okay, we'll use the forces from Meridoon instead of Garros.
Let's move out.
Grab our boarding shuttle,
Received.
and let's drop a strike cruiser as our pathfinder.
Let's go.
Okay, I don't think, yeah, they haven't been wiped out. There's a chance for the Mandalorians to get some more stuff later on, but they were a relatively small force for this. They participated in the Nagai Toph War, but they didn't have too much going on.
Moving. We'll be there shortly. Right away. Heading for coordinates. Order confirmed. At once. We'll be there soon. Receiving location. Awaiting orders. Engaging the enemy. The lasers are our target. Our target priority is the laser cannons. Lander ready. Form up. Bombs away.
Okay, I'm gonna get you over there.
Reporting. Arrival imminent.
Awaiting orders. Target the lasers.
Comlink active.
Awaiting
Probably sent too many units over towards it. Nope,
Transmit orders. Transmission received.
you go over here.
Receiving location. Sentinel standing by. Departure set.
reporting in. Roger that. Roger that. Move out.
Sentinel awaiting orders.
Form up.
He's headed your
Direct
direction.
fire on the engines.
Roger that. Narrowing position. Landing craft active.
Nope,
Form up.
we get
Destroy.
5 shots.
We shall be there shortly. Right away. Awaiting orders.
Form up.
This baby's got a few surprises left in her.
Form up.
Let's get those fighters.
Squadron standing by.
Copy.
Intercept. Awaiting orders. On the way. Excellent shot.
Heavy cruiser standing by.
I got one. Return to your
copy.
position.
Locking on. Reporting. Moving out.
I'll take care of this. Copy. Right away.
Copy. Those laser banks are the primary
It's the success chance is based on
Moving out.
I copy.
how much health it has. Let's give our second shot. We get 5 of them.
Reporting.
Boarding successful.
Weapons online. Ready for battle. Course set.
I don't think the retreat thing is true anymore. the battle, I don't think it ends properly. The AW was really built for this, so it was a hard thing to get to work properly. Fair Junction. There we go. Got our Kadalbi. Yeah, so we'll need to change that text. It used to be true that you couldn't retreat with it.
Coming around.
Alright. These guys are now on the wrong side of history. But we're just going into Bandamir anyways. So let's use that that guy over on Yavin 4. Because regardless of who we actually attack first, we're definitely going to be taking Generis, Dathomir, Bandamir, like the planets that are within our territory right away. Because they're all fairly lightly defended. They don't have much capacity to build anything, except for Dathomir, which they won't have had time to build anything on. Alright, let's send her out for a test run there.
En route.
Reinforcements cancelled.
All ahead. Engines to
Weapons
full.
online.
Fallout.
Preparing for combat.
Captain here.
Weapons charged. Moving to attack position.
Dreadnought cruiser ready.
Acquiring target.
Frigate here. Enemies in range. Heavy cruiser standing by.
Fire for maximum
Fire
effect.
for effect.
Frequency open.
Enemy has been defeated.
We are victorious. Okay, let's start assembling some of these ground forces. We will want to take Yavin, just not yet.
Departure set.
Currently I need to port over the changes, giving the Senate buildings the, who's approaching where? Yaga Minor? Oof. I'm so used to Empire's End, I haven't been... Like, I knew the Empire of the Hand was here, but I haven't played with them there in so long. Oh, I'm going to be putting up a poll on Patreon, so for anyone who is or becomes a patron, they're going to be voting on the next ICW playthrough, which will probably be our first 2.4 playthrough, actually. Maybe if this goes short and development goes long, the beta goes long, it might be the last 2.3 one. But I'd like to play either the Empire of the Hand or the New Republic, because we've done 3 of the last 4 will have been the Empire or the Imperial Warlords. We haven't really done an era progressive as New Republic, or as the New Republic ever. And there's some 2.4 stuff I'd like to be done before, like I'd want to show off with them, but we also haven't done the Empire of the Hand in a long time. We've only ever done one Empire of the Hand playthrough on the channel, even though they're my favorite faction.
Advancing on target.
So either way, it'd work out. I think it's just gonna be between those 2 options, which, I mean, most EAW mods only have 2 factions, so, or I guess 3, depending on what it is. So I won't feel as bad about only giving 2 options. The CSA we just did. Empire we'll just have done. Warlords we've done a lot of. Then throughout 2.4 I'm sure we'll give another Imperial faction playthrough. Probably the Irado Authority again, because they're going to have the Assertor done. They have some other units that are getting done. Alright, I don't think there's really any way we take out many of their ships with this. We can still enjoy the battle. I'm kind of afraid to retreat because we're gonna definitely lose this ISD. They're not gonna... Yeah, it's not gonna be able to get out. I'm gonna try to kill as much of their stuff as we can with this. Probably still need to do a bit of reduction on the Empire of the Hand fighters.
Our engines are gone. Our launch bay is gone. We've lost the iron fire for effect. Target
We may not even get any of their ship skill. Yeah. It's gonna be tough to get anything out of this.
Target at maximum firepower.
Taking fire. Commander, they're hitting us.
Attacking.
Ready to go. Nowhere to run.
Yeah, we're just getting wiped.
We have been defeated.
Alright, well, I guess that's probably going to do it for this first episode. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. We are going to have to work on taking that back and actually building up our forces, for one thing, in our background there. So let's actually queue up Hand of Blood,
Unit. Constructing.
Behemoth, Mr. Rogers.
Production.
Well, I'll wait until I have the affiliations fixed for the other stuff, because we should have a lot more. It just didn't carry over because it's all aligned with the CSA right now. So I'll fix that, and we'll be ready to go for the next episode. Still got some stuff done. Lost a little bit more than I would have liked to, but it's early. I'm recording this after getting up, so that's my excuse. But yeah, so hope you guys are looking forward to this playthrough. Again, if you would like to get a ship in the playthrough, you can check out the link in the description to how that works, as well as if you would like to vote on the next playthrough. Also, check out Corey's datapad if you would like to learn more about Star Wars lore. But yeah, so thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.